Hello, Kalia Cooper here. And today we are talking about the secret to being pursued by a godly man. So let's dive on into this, shall we? So, most Christian women, we dream of being pursued by a godly man and having that amazing marriage and being loved and, having babies or, just growing old with somebody that you can pursue God together with, right? Like you can create success with, even more success. But what if I told you that there is a secret that can change everything that you thought that you knew about love, dating, and relationships? Woo! We're going to dive into this. So, most women are taught to wait passively and hoping for their future husband that he'll just magically appear. I'll just bump into him at the grocery store, right? Or I'll just lock eyes with him at church and then he'll propose to me and I won't have to date and I won't have to do those things, right? And our husband, he'll just magically find us somehow. But here's the truth is that godly men are looking for something very specific in a woman, and it might shock you. And if you're not aware of what that is, you might be unintentionally blocking your blessings. Oh, we're going deep here. Let's dive into what it really takes to be pursued by the man that God has for you. And so, how many of you have ever been taught before you just need to wait passively for God to bring you the right man into your life? And while it's important, while God's timing is important, right? Waiting, how many of you know that waiting doesn't mean just doing like anything? Like waiting, let me rephrase that. Waiting just doesn't mean that I'm just to sit in my house, like I'm to do nothing. I don't prepare. I don't position myself to be found. And when we see, like in the Bible, Queen Esther, she prepared herself for the king. She had like 12 months of beauty treatments on top of all the other things that she did because she understood the position of what she was called to do, to be a queen. And when we look at Ruth, she had Naomi who was a mentor to her, who said, "Hey, you need to like put yourself in front of him." Like like Ruth literally laid at, and if you don't know those stories, go back and read them in the Bible. She literally physically positioned herself in front of Boaz. So, and a lot of the times we're just taught you need to just sit back and like that man, like just be in your house and like he's gonna come to you, he's gonna knock down your doors. I don't know about you, but if a man came knocking down my windows and my doors, I'd be pretty afraid. Wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you? And so, godly men aren't looking for perfection. They are seeking a woman who's actively becoming the best version of herself, a woman who she walks in purpose and she owns it. She's confident. When you step into the fullness of who God made you to be, and you learn, and I'm going to reveal the secret here, how to walk in the spirit of a wife and date like a wife, you will naturally draw in the right kind of man. And so the secret to being pursued by that amazing godly man is you have to embody the spirit of a wife before you meet him. And in my single season, I had gotten into very toxic, ungodly relationships, and I finally just got tired. Have you ever got to a place before where you're just like, you're tired of your mess and you're like, okay, this is not what we're going to do. And you're like, I know that in order to get a different result, I have to do something different. Right. And I was at that place and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of settling and I want to attract my husband. And so I was reading the word one night. I was looking through Proverbs and something stood out to me. I read Proverbs 18:22, and we all typically know this verse, right? Is that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. And I looked at all the different like translations, because you're looking to see if it says another word. And about all of them said wife. And something clicked for me. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have been dating like a girlfriend instead of dating like a wife. I was like, oh my gosh, like you mean like I'm supposed to walk in this before my husband is even in the picture. Because it doesn't say he who finds a woman. It doesn't say he who finds a companion. It says he who finds a wife. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have been dating wrong this entire time because I haven't been walking in that. And so let's talk about the Proverbs 31 woman for a moment. Proverbs 31 describes a woman who she wasn't just sitting by doing nothing. It paints a picture of a woman who is living in her purpose, caring for her community, and honoring God in everything that she does. Here's the kicker. A wife isn't something that you become after marriage. It's an identity shift that you step into now. Somebody say now as you're watching this. And so this is the reason why when I walk women through my single to wife framework and blueprint, and I show them how to have an identity shift, to walk in the spirit of a wife and to actually date like a wife, the way that men show up for them is totally different. The kind of men that they attract is it's totally different. They're like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. Like men are like, I want to marry you. Like I could see myself marrying you. Like where have you been all my life? And men show up for them differently. They pursue them in a way that they had really never been pursued before. And so in that, you step into that identity now because everything that we have is because of who we're being. So this is why you can have two different women who are taking who actually they're taking the same steps. So woman A is taking the same steps as woman B, but woman A, her identity and the way that she's showing up and her mindset, the way that that is set up, even though she's taking the same steps as woman B, she gets a totally different result than the woman who's doing the exact same thing as her. And this is the key. This is the thing. And so that spirit of readiness, joy, and purpose is magnetic to the kind of man that you are praying for. So I want to break down to you guys 3 practical steps to embodying the spirit of a wife. Number 1 is stepping into your purpose. Stepping into your purpose. God created you with a unique calling and purpose that goes well beyond marriage. Ask yourself right now, what has God called me to do in this season of my life? Whether it's excelling in your career, whether it's volunteering, whether it's deepening your relationship with Christ, focus on becoming a woman of purpose. Say purpose. Tap yourself and say, I was made with a purpose. Jeremiah 29 and 11. I was made with a purpose. When you confidently walk in your calling, you show a godly man that you are ready to be a partner and build a meaningful life together. Because why should your purpose partner come into your life and what is there to build? I believe that godly marriages are meant to make hell nervous and that they can absolutely change the world. And this is my part in changing the world, is helping men and women get married and have godly marriages. All right, number 2, radiate confidence. Did you know that confidence is one of the most attractive things to men. Confidence is not about being loud or perfect. It's about knowing your worth in Christ. When you know that you know that you know that you are valuable, you will not settle for less than God's best. And here's the thing about it, because I probably know a little bit about you without really knowing you, because there was a time that I was you, and I was where you were at in this time. And like, go with me here. There was a time where it was like, okay, I led with my accomplishments rather than who I was. And chances are you are an incredible, amazing woman. Like you are so awesome, and you're probably wondering right now, like, why in the world am I still single? Because you know that you're a catch. And you've accomplished all this success, and you feel like my success and those types of things, the external things, are going to pull a man in. When that is not what actually inspires men to pursue. And when I was operating out of that, I attracted men that were just interested in the things that I could do, in your accomplishments. And maybe you've experienced that before. And you're like, I've done all these things, but I'm not fully confident in who I am. I was there before. I know what that feels like. And you're trying to get all of this external validation about what you've done, rather than going inward and being confident from who you are and who God has created you to be. And so here's what confidence looks like. Confidence looks like setting boundaries and walking away from relationships that don't align with your values and standing firm in who God created you to be. This kind of self-assurance and confidence is incredibly attractive to the right kind of men. Step number 3, practical step 3, is learn to communicate with grace. One of the most underrated aspects of being pursued is learning how to communicate in a way that inspires pursuit. Feminine communication isn't about manipulation. It is about expressing your thoughts and emotions in a way that invites connection and respect. For example, let me show you an example here. Instead of saying, "Why don't you plan anything?" you could say, "I feel really loved when you take the lead in planning our time together." Being able to communicate in a way that inspires men to pursue has them like eating out of the palm of your hands. And chances are you are a successful, high achieving Christian woman who you're running the show when it comes to your career and your business and when it comes to your love life. So we're operating out of our masculine over here. And you're like, how do I drop into my femininity and communicate in a way that really pulls in the right kind of men? And that might feel like, oh, I don't know how to do that. This simple shift in language invites a man to step up in a godly and intentional way. This is so vital. And so, if this speaks to you and you are ready to dive deeper into understanding how to embody the spirit of a wife, I have created some free trainings for you guys, or you can click the link below and book in a time with me and my team to see if it's a good fit to work together a bit deeper. And also, I have dropped the link below to my free guide on how to communicate with men in a way that inspires them to pursue. So go ahead and grab those resources below. And if you're not following already, click that subscribe button because I have so many amazing things coming for you guys. And here's what I want to leave you with. Here's the truth. Godly men are out there and they're not looking for perfection. They are looking for a purpose partner, a woman who's walking in purpose, confidence, and grace. They are looking for a woman who's prepared to partner with them in love and faith. You have big visions, you have big goals, and you know that, and there was a song, I think it's by Neo, that you're a movement by yourself. But when you come together with the man that God has for you, you will be a force to be reckoned with. And this woman can absolutely be you. Do not allow past mistakes to hold you back from the blessings that God has for you. Together, let's make sure that you are ready to attract the man of your dreams. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.